Forgiving your spouse can be difficult, but here's something that can make it easier.
In the book, St. Catherine of Siena, the dialogue, we get to see a conversation that God has with St. Catherine. In one instance, God says to St. Catherine, "Even when my servants see something that is clearly sinful, they do not pass judgment, but rather feel a holy and genuine compassion, praying for the sinner and saying with perfect humility, 'Today is your turn. Tomorrow it will be mine, unless divine grace holds me up.'" This really emphasizes how we can't do good without God. And the Bible agrees with that, right? In the Bible, you'll find Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 5, where Jesus says, "Apart from me, you can do nothing." Essentially, we're all going to fall unless we have God's help. So how does this make it easier to forgive?
Well, if we think about it, none of us wants to be a hypocrite. So it's really not fair to hold your spouse to a different standard than yourself, right? I shouldn't think badly of someone just because they made the same mistake or did the same wrong thing that I would have done had it not been for the grace of God.
Right.
So there's, I think, obstacles to forgiveness. Kind of boils down to pride. I can think of two approaches. So one way to fall is to think badly of your spouse, right? So just think of kind of paraphrasing Adam in the Garden of Eden, thinking badly of others and not taking responsibility. Telling God, the woman you gave to put here to be with me, she gave me the apple, so I'm innocent, right? And the other, instead of thinking down on your spouse, is to think too much of yourself, right? Like, oh, well, I'd never fall that way. I never make that mistake. I never do that, right? But, maybe I fall in other ways, right?
Right. Or to some other degree. For example, we've heard some spouses that we've talked to, they've asked the question, well, what if my spouse is guilty of infidelity? Ideally, that never happens in a marital union, but often it does. It can happen, and it really helps to realize that to some degree we've all committed the sin of infidelity against one spouse, right? And you might think, no, I haven't, right? But even if you look at someone, check someone out. There's so many beautiful people in the world. It's hard not to, right? But you can control your eyes, right? So, or enjoying attention that was given to you by someone of the opposite sex, enjoying it in some, to some degree that you really shouldn't be. Things like that. So basically, this can be applied to large things like infidelity, and at the same time, it can be applied to the small things, day-to-day small things.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly to say, well, you went down that road when, okay, yeah, you went a little further, but I've kind of gone down it too, right?
Right.
So we'd like to challenge you to think about the times that you've strayed from God and gotten into trouble, and then have some compassion for your spouse when they do the same thing. So give this a thumbs up if you think it's worth giving it a try. We'll see you next time.